everyone, just wanted to do a quick little what happened here recently with Sofi. So, obviously, I talk about Sofi a lot here, and I'll do a better video kind of recapping what we saw here this week, tomorrow. But what I want to say here is, with Sofi struggling with and I don't even want to use that word struggle. I hate to use that word right now, but I think Sofi is doing the opposite of struggle. Sofi could be taking a lot more damage right now, and it's not. It's just not. I think Sofi is showing its strength with this market sell-off. I think this is a different situation people need to look at, because I've seen some comments today where people, not the like negative comments, are like, oh my God. It's a thing where, I've seen people go like, this is unbelievable. This crap, what? I can't believe I bought Sofi. Now it's a 20. Whoa. Listen, let's look at the positive. There's a lot more positives than there are negatives right now with this situation. Sofi just came out here 2 weeks ago with outstanding quarterlies, and they pretty much told us that Q4, when it comes out, it's going to be well over $1 billion quarterly. Okay. Then last week here, essentially this week, Sofi came out with this crypto news we've been waiting on here for a long time, and that is going to continue to do well. Those are strong pillars that Sofi is putting in the ground here. Not to mention that is going to be income that's generated here into Sofi quarterlies going into 2026. So right now with Sofi, really look at this as a moment right now where you're lucky enough to get it in this $20 position right now, from $26 to $30. I think this is the low-hanging fruit right now, where people have to look at the greener grass coming here. And I think we're already in greener grass, but I really think you need to look at this as like, this is going to get a lot more intense. Obviously the rate cut that we're expecting here in December, we don't know whether it's coming or not. More than likely, we won't even hear anything until the day of, when the Feds meet on December 10th. So with that, we'll know if we're getting a rate cut. And the government is open right now, but the Feds probably still won't receive a lot of the macro news reports of what they need. And essentially the government could close down again here at the beginning of January, because, essentially what they closed down to start with really never got solved, and it's going to come right back up here in January. Sofi here, if you even look at the last 6 months of this stock, it's beautiful, okay? And this is really, over the summer with Sofi, that's when things really started to get aggressive. Around Q1 was obviously showing that, like, okay, great. Q2, amazing. Q3 here that we just had come out, undoubtedly is saying, okay, things are a lot different. I think you're going to see Q4 show up here and go like, oh my God. This is when Q4 shows up here, and Sofi is well over $1 billion quarterly and projected to do X amount on top of that into Q1 of 2026 to get the year really rolling here for the new year. It's going to be a pivotal moment here where we're in it. The retail investors, just us with our $20, $100, $1,000 buy-ins, whatever we're doing here, how heavy you can go on it. But, Wall Street's going to show up here eventually. There's going to be a moment here where, more people show up, the mass shows up, and, the food that's on the dinner table now is going to get very expensive here. It's going to cost you to be a part of Sofi in the future. So, the one thing that's on a lot of people's radar right now with Sofi is that, this could be a situation where Sofi goes into the S&P 500 this following year. So, imagine what that will look like. There's a lot of great things that were on the horizon with Sofi. I really think about that. So I say all this to say encourage you right now. So, really think about what you're holding or what you could be holding. If this is, wherever you're at with Sofi, if you're thinking about getting in, you're thinking about getting out, obviously do what you want to do, but I can tell you that there are more reasons to be a part of this SoFi relationship than there is to not be. Where else are you going to be a part of a stock where it's better than this right now? I mean, the revenue, the amount of people they're getting to open accounts with them is crazy on a quarterly basis. Are we going to see SoFi maybe by Q3 of this following year start to be in a $1.5 billion quarterly range? Do you know what that's going to look like? I've said this multiple times, but I think people need to prepare themselves, and they need to be ready to be shocked to see SoFi blow past Robinhood here. I think you're going to see a fight this year. You're going to see a huge argument. You're going to see a huge battle take place here with SoFi and Robinhood, where Robinhood's been getting a lot of attention. They've had a great year, and obviously they just had a great quarterly. And a lot of that back end on that quarterly, that 300,000 that got them over the hump here into the over $1 billion quarterly, Robinhood, came from crypto trades. Well, guess what? Guess what SoFi's getting into? Obviously, Robinhood is a platform where people go to trade, go to buy stocks, crypto. But with that, SoFi could push this more. More people know about it. More people are going to get into it. It's going to be small amounts that start off good. Small things, good, big things start off in small rooms here. If you're wondering what that noise is, that's my boxer over here. Lacey, chill out. It's pretty obvious if we were not dealing with the market of what the market is doing right now, where it's on this struggle bus of where do we go? What do we do? And right now we've had the government shut down, and for a while there the market was running wild. It was just doing what it wanted to do. Mom and dad weren't home, and the kids were going wild here. Us, the kids are the investors. And now that, mom and dad, it seems to be back home, things are a bit of a mess. We don't know where things are at, getting things back up and going here. And that's what the market's looking like right now. The government's opening back up. We're going to start fresh here Monday, obviously. And, like I said, a lot of these reports, this stuff, are we going to get them? Are we not going to get them? How bad are job reports? And, there's a lot of unknown. And, of course, there's a lot of fear. And this whole conversation still is up in the air here, taking up most of the airspaces of AI collapse. Is this the AI collapse? What is going to happen here? I want to tell you, and I don't know that most people on YouTube would even tell you to do this, but I think, to help you, at the end of the day, we all have to work together to be better investors. It's God's honest truth. As much as I love people here clicking on videos and listening to me yap, even here late at night where I'm, exhausted and I'm just rambling, my thoughts and what I'm seeing here. Tom Lee had an interview with Tom Nash. Tom Nash and Tom Lee had an interview. Okay, you need to go watch it. It's not even a week old. It's great because Tom Lee is a lot more comfortable in this interview and how he talks to Tom. And Tom Lee, I mean, this is a person that is in Wall Street. He's with companies. He's chairman. He's a boss. He is out there watching and seeing what's going on. And this is a guy that's not new to the market. He's been in the market for far longer than most people that you're going to run into. So he understands the ins and outs, economics of the market, what they look like, past history, what future history may bring. But it really tells you that, as people find themselves scared in this unknown position in the market, there could be another page of this that people aren't seeing, that maybe the market might continue to do well here for another, moment in time here going into next year. There's a real big conversation with that, because we could just see another turnaround of going into next year. Jerome Powell's out, Feds start doing more rate cuts with Trump's new guy. Bank stocks really do well. Economics start to reel out something a little different here. Inflation maybe holds off, goes down. People are taking loans. They can get them get more big amounts of money at a lower cost to pay it back. What does next year bring with a lot of situations here in the market? So I think SoFi is gearing up for something very special here, and there's no doubt about that. It's a very real conversation when we see a lot of big investors, small investors. Essentially, at this moment, there's not too many negatives in people saying negative things about SoFi right now. It's very interesting. There's moments and times in my investing life where I have got kind of the chills from some stocks. Palantir is one of them. And SoFi has definitely turned into one of those stocks where it kind of gives me chills, because I'm like, I think this is going to get stupid. I think this is going to get really stupid. Look at Robinhood. I look at Robinhood and I go like, wow, that's crazy. That is insane. Like, I always viewed Robinhood as 70, 80 tops. Can't go more than that. I mean, that's crazy. I look at SoFi and I go like, I think SoFi could really blow past Robinhood in every way, shape, and form. And they have got the proof. They have got the cojones to do it now, going into this year. And when this Q4 quarterly comes out, it is going to really prove that 100%. Friends, take care of yourself. I will be back talking soon with better video and having a full night's sleep. And I wish all of you the best of luck. Be happy. Be excited. Amazing time to get somewhere in this market here. I think we're going to see some big things happen here. Friends, take care of yourself. Bye, everyone.